Hello guys, welcome back to another video of mine. This is a little bit of a different video, as there are no Chelsea games to either preview or review this week. This is going to be a little bit of a topic kind of discussion video. I said, first of all, apologies for not getting this video out on Thursday like I said I would. There's some things that prevented me from doing it yesterday, but hopefully we can, be okay with it coming out today. Now, as I said, what I want to talk about in this video, a few things to talk about. Problems at Chelsea. I say what's going on at Chelsea. It's more like what's not going on at Chelsea. That will be a short video. So the problems going on at the club, what can we do to rectify them if we can. Just a mainly discussion about that. Before I get into that video, I'll be doing a Q&A. I'll try and get it out on Sunday, but it will most likely be on Monday that I get it done. So any of you want to send me questions, you can send it to me either in the comment section on this video, previous videos, whatever. And for those of you who know me personally, Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, send me in any questions you'd like me to answer. Keep it clean, I'll answer as many as I can. So that will be out on Sunday, but we'll try and get it out on Sunday, but most likely Monday. So getting into this video now, talking about Chelsea and what can be done, or what's going on. First of all, now the club is in a bit of a crisis at the minute, but again, we're not strangers to crisis at this football club. We've had plenty. We had some under Mourinho in his last season. We had it under Conte last year. It's happened before, and looks like we're in the midst of one right now. The first time ever as a Chelsea fan in my, I've supported the club all my life. This is the first time that I've ever seen such a divide between the fan base at the minute. There's fans that are sorry out, there's fans that are sorry in, and there's some that are in the middle. I'm one of those people. I'm not necessarily sorry in, but I'm also not necessarily sorry out. I'm really stuck in the middle. I do see where people are coming from with him wanting to go, and I also get why people want him to stay. For me, I'm kind of down the middle. I think he hasn't really been given enough time to, implement his style of football, and he hasn't really, got the players at his disposal. But again, leaning towards the sorry outside, I think he's very stubborn. He doesn't really change that much. He keeps going with the same tried and not tested starting 11 that seems to be losing stupid games like Bournemouth 4-0. It's no shame in losing to Man City, but there is a shame in losing 6-0. Everton at the weekend. You're looking at the likes of Wolves away, Leicester. Who else are we looking at? Those kind of games. But, there's such a divide in the fan base. I've never seen anything like it. It reminds me of Arsene Wenger's last stages at Arsenal. But what is really kind of worrying, but may also kind of be a blessing in disguise, is that looking at our games coming up, West Ham at home, Burnley, fans are starting to hand their tickets in. I think there's around 700 tickets that have been sold without being purchased for Burnley. Around 400 that have been sold and not purchased for West Ham. When revenue starts being affected and when fans aren't buying tickets, which means money's not getting into the club, that's when the board notices. And then they say, oh crap, something needs to be done here because we're going to be losing money. Now, this all comes from fans not being interested in watching Chelsea anymore, getting bored of what they're seeing, getting bored of watching the same crap every week, in their opinion. And so I get where they're coming from. I do agree that the football has been dire at times and really hard to watch at times. But if you support the club, you pay, you go support the team, you watch them. That's why you're a fan. You invest your time into it and you're there for them through thick and thin. I see both sides of the story, but this is where the clubs start noticing. We can bring banners, we can, display our displeasure on the camera to each other, but when revenue starts being affected on the club side, that's when they take notice. And maybe this could be a blessing in disguise. As I said, maybe they might take notice of this and go, okay, something needs to be done. I'm not necessarily saying I want Sarri to be sacked, but he could be if revenue's affected. Another thing, our form this year, 2019, has been abysmal. I was looking at a form table from January the 1st up until, what date is it? It's the 22nd of March. So we are nearly 3 months into the year. coming into the 4th month of the year. We are 13th. I just looked up there. The brightness coming here is from the computer. Before I did this video, I did a bit of research. We are 13th in the form table for 2019. That is disgraceful. For a club the size of us, a team that have won the Premier League the second most amount of times, only Manchester United have won it more than us, we are 13th. That's embarrassing. Crystal Palace are ahead of us. Newcastle are ahead of us. I think we've played like 9 or 10 games since the turn of the year. We'll say 9. I think we've won 4, drawn 1, and lost 4. As I just said, that's mid-table form for a team like Chelsea. For a team that's supposedly fighting for top 4, to be 13th in the form table, that's problematic. Really, really is. That explains the situation that we're in. This really, really does show, statistics-wise, that we're struggling. It's embarrassing. Crystal Palace, seriously. No offence to Crystal Palace, but come on. Look at the players we have and look at the players they have. And they're ahead of us in the form table for 2019. Seriously? Oh dear. My God. Now, I said that form table. So I've said that the fan base is divided. I said our form has been terrible. Now we're getting on to where I think the true problems lie, is at board level. There is no structure at this football club. And if there is one, it's shocking. We've an owner that can't even get into the country, so he can't even run events that happen. We've a technical director who hasn't a clue about football. Good with the business side, she's good with money, that's fine, but she hasn't a clue in the football aspect of things at the club. We've no director of football. We have, as I said, a manager who's very hit and miss, and we have players that can play football, they can turn it on and off like a tap. But that all starts from the top and it goes down. It starts at the top and goes down to the bottom. So what needs to be done? This is the thing, I've discussed the problems. Now what needs to be done? With regards to the fan base, as I said, there's a huge divide between us. There's fans, as I said, that are sorry in, and there's fans that are sorry out. I think what we need to do as football fans, or as Chelsea fans, sorry, just respect each other's opinion. I've seen people, there's a certain fan channel, for Chelsea fans watching this you may know, that have been ridiculing other fans for their opinion. I mean, what is that? We as Chelsea fans are allowed to have an opinion on our club. Us Chelsea fans invest a lot of money into this club, whether it be buying tickets, buying merchandise, TV subscriptions, everything. We all pump money into this football club, so we should all have a say in how this club is run and how it's performing. And for certain fans to call other fans mugs or stupid for having an opinion is bang out of order, and it's affecting the club. As I said, there wouldn't be a divide. As I said, the manager and the board, that'll obviously cause its own problems, but with fans, ridiculing other fans is going to cause tension. We don't need that. So what I'm suggesting in terms of us as I keep saying football fans, as Chelsea fans, respect each other's opinion. You don't necessarily have to agree with it, but just respect it. Every fan, no matter who you support, is entitled to their opinion. Let them have it and then say, okay, I see where you're coming from. I either agree with it or disagree with it, and then leave it. Now, what was I saying? What are the problems? Our form. I mean, that's just down to the players and the manager. I think the players really need to have a look at themselves and really need to question and change their attitude, their commitment, and their desire for the cause. Some of those players just really, like, I'm going to just list off a few. Marcus Alonso, as I said in the Everton review, I don't want to see him anywhere near a Chelsea. Oh, hang on. I don't want to see him anywhere near a Chelsea shirt again. That might be harsh and people might disagree with me. That's fine. You're entitled to your opinion, but personally, I think he's been given too many chances and he's constantly or consistently playing poorly, and you cannot warrant him starting every week if he's going to keep playing poorly. Who else are we looking at? Kovacic looks lost. Barkley looks lost. Jorginho's really starting. He's performing a little bit better, but he's still really inconsistent. Pedro is just, I think he's just past it at this stage. There's so many players. I'm not going to list off many players or a lot of players, but there's so many players in there that should be dropped. Like of Callum Hudson-Odoi should be starting. Loftus-Cheek, players who deserve to be starting should be. So I either want these players that are playing to really, pull the finger out of their arse and start playing for the badge on the chest and not for the name on the back, or just don't play, sell them. Although we can't, as I said, another problem, we have a transfer ban, so we can't sell anyone because we can't replace them. It's such a predicament. And then it comes down to the manager again. The manager really, seriously, I'm not sorry out, but he really needs to start adapting, changing things when it goes wrong, playing players that deserve to play. Just open your eyes. Just see that, there's players in there that don't deserve to be playing, and there are players sat on the bench that do. Change it up a little bit. Try something new. We're not going to criticise you for trying something new if it's in the best interest of the club. So that's what needs to happen in terms of on the pitch and on the sidelines. Board level is where we need drastic changes, not just a few changes here and there. Drastic. Marina Granovskaya needs to either go completely or just focus on the financial side of the club. Her as a technical director, does not work. She's good, as I said, running the money side of it. Football, not a hope. She doesn't have a clue. So she can stay and deal with the money side of it. I have no problem. Her dealing with money and football, I'm sorry, I'm not the only Chelsea fan that doesn't want that. So we need a technical director now. I was looking at a bit of good news today. I saw that Chelsea are in talks, apparently, with Luis Campos, the Lille technical director, who has a great track record of whatever club he's gone. He's been a very good director of football, bringing in good youth players and bringing in players that suit the club. So I would really be into that. And if not, I've always said Michael Ballack, but we'll see what happens. That's a bit of good news. So we need a director of football. We need Granovskaya out in terms of the football side of it. Financial side, as I said, I've no problem. Football side, she needs to go. We need Abramovich to start acting like an owner. I understand it's difficult when you're not in the country, but from the outside in, I know it's hard in any aspect of life, people looking from the outside in, it's difficult, but for someone who owns the club, seeing that there's problems there and not doing anything about it, if that's the case, just sell up, honestly. But he needs to really start acting like an owner of this football club. Abramovich has done wonderful things for this football club that I will always respect him and admire him, as every Chelsea fan would, and be thankful. But if you're not going to start acting like an owner, then just sell up. But what we want to see is him acting like the owner he was at the start, realising there's problems at his level and deal with them and change it so that the club can change for the better. Yeah, a bit of a rant there, but there's just so much going on at this club at the minute. We're in such a mess with the transfer ban, with the players that are, consistently not performing, not showing any desire or attitude. The manager, with as I said, the fan base so divided, and at board level, there's so much that's going wrong at this football club that just needs to be rectified. We'll just have to wait and see. The only positive news is that I saw today is that Luis Campos could potentially be coming in as a director of football, which shows that Abramovich might be finally, opening his eyes and realising, oh crap, there are problems here that need to be rectified. If that's the case, then good, we might be progressing somewhere. But until that's official, and until, as I said, Chelsea fans start respecting each other's opinions and we can maybe try and sort this divide out. I don't think this divide will be sorted out unless Sarri either is backed by the board telling him he's staying or he's leaving. Something needs to happen. But this can be dealt with. Another thing before I go, I want to mention what our starting 11 will look like next season if this transfer ban is, in place, which it looks like it is at the moment. So that means we cannot buy anyone for 2 windows. So it will be the summer one coming up and the one in January 2020. So we won't be able to buy anyone for those 2. So I've been kind of looking at the starting 11, who we could play, if that stays and if we can't, bring anyone in. a lot of youngsters are going to be playing. I know just Chelsea fans want that, but I have a feeling that, you know, we could really be left behind if things, you know, don't improve. But, you know, looks like we're going to have to invest a lot of time and energy into youth players next season. So the likes of maybe Mason Mount, the likes of Batshuayi, Abraham, Pulisic, Reece James, you know, all these players are going to have to be probably playing regularly next season. It's good, but, you know, I think what we need to accept, I've said this in the previous video, that if that's the case, we're going to have to forget about winning trophies for the next few years, or challenging for titles at least, if this is the way it's going to be. But, you know, we just have to accept that. But yeah, I think I've said kind of everything I wanted to say. I've said the problems, I've said what needs to be done. And, you know, hopefully the club takes on board what I and many other Chelsea fans are saying, and that things need to change. Otherwise, we're only going to go down from here and get worse. But yeah, that's all I have to say. If you did enjoy this video, please drop it a like, subscribe if you're new around here, or you enjoy the content. And as I said at the start, I will be having a Q&A video out, hopefully Sunday, but will most likely be Monday. So as I said, leave me your questions either on, if you know me personally, Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. And then for those of you who watch it but don't know me personally, send me your questions in the comment section of this video or in previous videos, and I will answer as many as possible. So yeah, that's all I have to say for this video, guys, and I'll see you for that Q&A video on Monday. Take care, and I'll see you then.